Okay, so Ryan, if you want to start climbing really slowly, yeah, go for it. Take it tight.
The Single Pitch Award, or SPA, is for people supervising groups climbing and abseiling on natural cliffs, indoor and outdoor climbing walls, and purpose-built abseil towers.
Nice wide feet. Ryan, look at that little ledge just in front of you.
Working with a group of novices and introducing them to climbing can be really satisfying, and an opportunity to bring into their lives the chance of adventure and sport, often in exciting and beautiful surroundings. The motivation to do this should be one of your first considerations in deciding that you would like to do the Single Pitch Award.
Stop. When you take it in next time, yeah, keep this hand nice and tight. Don't slide it down the rope. Okay, go ahead.
Although there is a real need for skills and certain safety procedures that must always be adhered to, the real trick is to essentially make this a fun day out, so that novices will always remember their first day on the crag and may be inspired to come again.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
The role of the SPA holder is wide-ranging with a number of different skills. They will have to supervise, give demonstrations, make sound judgments regarding venues, the weather and prevailing conditions, and they must also be confident in their own abilities to be able to pass on their knowledge and inspire others.
So that's the start. It goes all the way around.
These skills are perhaps best summed up as an awareness of their environment.
Slowly going. Becca, wide feet, otherwise you'll just like fall on the bed. I really enjoy being a Single Pitch Award holder. It's quite a joy taking groups of people out and showing them what I do in my spare time as a hobby, and hopefully the kind of enjoyment that I get out of it from when I do it in my spare time, they'll feel a bit of that. Some people get really scared, but most people really enjoy it, and it's a really good way of, it's quite a simple challenge of just pushing yourself and challenging yourselves. Yeah, I love it. It's hard not to on a day like today.
I can't.
You passed the hardest bit.
At Blue Paris, where we are today, they kind of work a lot on kind of personal development and getting kids to try and challenge themselves. It's not, we won't force them to do anything, but within their groups they try and do as much as they can.
That's it. You trying to pull yourself up.
For instance, Ellie, she was quite scared, but she went 2/3 of the way up and came down, which compared to how she was yesterday morning when she first started is a massive improvement. Well done, Elle.
During the late 1980s, many local authorities were running their own local rock climbing schemes, and there was a growing pressure for a nationwide scheme. So, in 1992, and after a great deal of discussion, the SPA came into being. For the purpose of the scheme, a single pitch climb is defined as one which can be climbed in a continuous ascent from bottom to top, is described as a single pitch in a guidebook, allows climbers to be lowered to the ground at all times, is non-tidal, has little objective danger, and presents no difficulties on approach or retreat, such as route finding, scrambling or navigating. It is this understanding that forms the basis of the Single Pitch Award.
Yeah. Any time that you decide you need more than one anchor, what decision have you made in your head about?
Candidates will be trained and assessed in their technical competence and the basic skills relating to their own personal climbing and abseiling. They will need the ability to organise and manage a group of novices in a safe and efficient manner, both indoors and out, with due regard to access, conservation and environmental issues. Also important will be a clear understanding of what to do when things go wrong, but more importantly, an awareness of how to avoid problems in the first place.
Just do your final checks before you actually go through to the final, okay, I'm ready for you now. I'll just go back to you, yeah. Let's just have a look at this system here then, yeah? Have we got independent? Yeah, okay, well spotted, yeah. That's good. What would have happened if something happened to one of the anchor points at that stage?
Then I'd be wearing that grass down there.
Well, you wouldn't have disappeared entirely, but that slack would have come into the system and you'd have ended up with your bum over the edge there, yeah? Would have been pretty unpleasant for you, for the skin on the bottom of your bum.
Although the SPA was designed primarily for those operating outdoors, many award holders will often use the award to work in a variety of indoor wall or artificial structures, and therefore some part of each training and assessment course will take place indoors to address this important part of the syllabus.
So what we've got here, we've got a top rope, climbers tied on to this end with a figure of 8 and a stopper knot.
Operating on a busy public wall is very different to operating in the peace and quiet of the countryside.
Keep going, Ben.
Training and assessment courses will be a minimum of 20 hours long and are normally run over 2 consecutive days. Route choice, equipment selection, and understanding of the basic rock types and the ability to lead are just some of the technical skills required, combined with sound judgment and the ability to make and understand risk assessments. Therefore, like all the awards within mountain leader training, candidates must satisfy the minimum requirements before registering for the scheme or attending a training or assessment course. Furthermore, a sustained commitment throughout the training scheme is needed if they are to be successful.
The folks that come on SPA courses are really coming from climbing backgrounds first and foremost, and we're trying to move them into instructional situations so that they can become inspiring and enthusiastic leaders of groups. So to that end, we try and incorporate a lot of fun and enjoyment into the course, which we hope will be translated through to when they're working with groups beyond today. Okay, it's equalised, yeah. It's independent, but what's it done to our anchor points? Yeah, okay, we're creating a 3-way load across. We're actually pulling our anchors out of line with our original intention. Does that make sense?
I've been climbing for kind of about 6-7 years, but I've never really kind of spent an awful lot of time consolidating my experience, if you like. So I kind of wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing, make sure my technique was pretty good, and it's really more about learning how to manage groups kind of effectively, learning about things like games and how to keep a group together and energised and interested, and get them excited about climbing. Basically, that's why I'm doing the SPA.
At present, I've been working predominantly with adults, so I'd like to come away with the skills to work with young people and, you know, to understand a bit more about the limitations or the considerations that have to be thought of.
So what sort of things would we have to take into consideration if we were bringing a group here?
Even just this morning, just on simple things like anchors and things like that, just seeing somebody else's approach and somebody else's ideas, you just pick those up and kind of add them to your own. So yeah, I'm certainly learning things.
So what's going to happen to me if I'm attached as we recommended like this?
I'm enjoying it, yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It's quite laid back. It's you know, it's not particularly academic. There's obviously a syllabus to the SPA which you've obviously got to learn up and kind of get used to for your assessment. But the training itself is quite enjoyable, and it's more just about kind of consolidating the skills and the experience that you've got and learning from each other. So yes, it's good fun.
That's not a problem, is it? I can still get my 180 degrees on my ATC.